It happens fast. One moment you're pouring yourself a glass of water or reading a newspaper in your favorite chair. The next, you feel something strange, pressure in your chest, a sudden shortness of breath, a dizzy spell that won't go away. You clutch your arm, your jaw tightens, and a wave of fear rushes over you. You try to stand, you try to speak, but no one's around. You're alone, and you're having a heart attack. This is the nightmare scenario that too many seniors over 60 don't think about until it's too late. And the statistics are sobering. Every 40 seconds, someone in the US has a heart attack. And the older you get, the higher your risk. But here's the part most people don't talk about. Many of these heart attacks happen when the person is completely alone. No spouse, no neighbor, no bystander. Just you and the clock ticking. But let me give you hope right now. You don't have to die if this happens. You don't have to be helpless. There are clear science-backed steps you can take right now and in the moment to drastically increase your chances of survival. This video is your survival guide, and over the next 5 parts, we're going to walk through 7 life-saving actions every senior must know, especially if you live alone or spend long stretches of your day without someone nearby. These are simple, practical, doctor-backed strategies that can literally buy you the time your heart needs to survive. Before we get into the first 3 tips, I want you to understand the enemy, because heart attacks don't always look the way they do in the movies. In fact, over 25% of seniors who suffer heart attacks don't even feel chest pain. Instead, they feel nausea, fatigue, tightness in the jaw or back, or even just a sense that something is off. For men, it's often a crushing pressure in the chest, left arm pain, sweating. For women, it can be upper back pain, sudden anxiety, or dizziness. And if you're over 60, diabetic, or have high blood pressure, your symptoms can be even more subtle. That's why your first line of defense isn't medication or a fancy gadget. It's awareness. You must know what your body is trying to tell you. Because the faster you recognize a heart attack, the faster you can respond, and the better your odds of living to tell the tale. Now, you might be wondering, what if I panic? What if I can't think straight when it happens? That's exactly why we're starting this series. Because surviving a heart attack alone after 60 doesn't come down to luck. It comes down to being mentally prepared, to building a routine that keeps your body ready, and having a plan you can fall back on even when fear takes over. The first 2 minutes can save your life. What to do the moment you feel it. Let's say the moment has arrived. You're in your home, perhaps in the kitchen or resting in bed, and something suddenly doesn't feel right. A strange pressure rises in your chest. Maybe it radiates to your arm or jaw. You feel a little lightheaded, or your breathing starts to change. Your body knows before your mind does. This is not normal. This is the moment where every second counts. And what you do next can either keep your heart beating or let precious time slip away. That's why we begin this part with the first 2 life-saving tips every senior must remember. Tip number 1. Stop everything and sit upright immediately. The very first thing you must do is stop moving and sit upright. Don't try to walk around, don't try to lie down, and definitely don't try to wait it out. Why? Because when you stand or walk, your heart is working harder to pump blood upward against gravity. But sitting upright with your back supported and your knees bent at a right angle reduces the heart's workload. It allows blood to move more freely through your body and keeps your airway clear. If you're already sitting or lying down, slowly move to a more upright seated position, on a couch, in a sturdy chair, or even the floor with your back against the wall. Also important, Don't panic. Don't try to make it to another room or grab anything across the house. In the early stages of a heart attack, sudden movement or physical exertion can push the heart into arrhythmia or cardiac arrest. Think stillness equals survival. Tip number 2, start the cough CPR technique, but only with caution. There's a popular method that's often discussed in emergencies, cough CPR. While not a replacement for real CPR or defibrillation, it can help in certain heart attack situations, but only if you are conscious and alert. Here's how it works. Take a deep breath, cough deeply, like you're trying to clear something from your chest. Repeat every 2 seconds. Deep breath, strong cough. Deep breath, strong cough. Why it may help. The deep breaths get more oxygen into your lungs, while the coughing action compresses the chest like a mini pump, helping to maintain blood flow and delay loss of consciousness. But let's be clear, this is not a cure. It's a bridge, a way to keep your heart going until help arrives or until you can get to emergency care. Use this only if you feel faint, sense palpitations, or if you're seconds from losing consciousness. If your symptoms are mild or you're able to breathe calmly, focus on the next step instead. Which brings us to a vital piece of survival that many seniors don't plan for. Prepare your emergency call setup ahead of time. This might sound simple, but in the moment, your hands might shake, your brain might fog, and you might not even make it to your phone. That's why you should preload your phone with a one-tap emergency contact button. Whether it's 911, a neighbor, or your adult child, make sure it's on your home screen, clearly labeled, easy to press. Even better, consider keeping a voice-activated smart speaker nearby that can call 911 or your emergency contact hands-free. If you're gasping or weak, shouting "Alexa, call 911" could make the difference. Also, don't forget, wear your medical ID bracelet if you're high risk, and always have your emergency medication, aspirin or nitroglycerin, in a visible, easy-to-reach spot. Real story, real lesson. Take the case of Leonard, 72, who began feeling tightness in his chest one night while watching TV. Because he had practiced the drill, he calmly sat upright, focused on steady breathing, and hit the emergency button on his phone. EMS arrived in 9 minutes. Leonard survived because he didn't waste those first 2. The moral? You don't have time to think during a heart attack. You only have time to act. 2 more steps to stay alive: the pill, the breath, and the daily habit that could save you. By now, we've already sat down, stopped all movement, and, if needed, used cough CPR to stabilize blood flow. You've got the phone nearby, your emergency button ready. But your heart is still under attack. Time is still ticking, and your job in these next few minutes is to stay calm, keep oxygen moving through your body, and most importantly, prevent the heart tissue from dying. That brings us to the next 2 critical steps. Tip number 3. Chew, don't swallow an aspirin immediately. If you take one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Always keep a 325 milligram uncoated aspirin nearby, at your bedside, in your wallet, in your kitchen drawer. And if a heart attack strikes, chew it. Don't just swallow it. Why? Because chewing an aspirin allows it to enter your bloodstream faster. It goes to work by inhibiting platelet clumping, which is the body's response when arteries are injured or blocked. During a heart attack, your blood vessels are already compromised. Platelets rushing to help can actually make the clot worse and cause more damage. Chewing the aspirin ensures it starts working within 5 to 10 minutes, helping to thin the blood and keep oxygen moving. Here's the catch. Only take the aspirin if you're not allergic, and only if you haven't been told by a doctor to avoid it. If you have heart history, talk to your physician and prepare this in advance. In fact, put a sticky note on your nightstand. Chew aspirin if heart attack. Because in the fog of an emergency, you won't remember steps. But a note might save your life. Tip number 4. Slow, deep breathing. Reset the panic. Your next priority is to avoid panic. Why? Because when you panic, your body releases adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes, your blood vessels constrict, and your oxygen needs skyrocket. Exactly what you don't want when your heart is in crisis. So here's what you do. Start a simple, calming breathing routine. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 2. And exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle slowly, focusing on each breath. This technique lowers your heart rate, reduces blood pressure, keeps your brain supplied with oxygen, helps keep you conscious and alert. And even more importantly, it buys you time. While the aspirin starts to work and help arrives, these deep breaths tell your nervous system, we are not in a free fall. You can even whisper to yourself something calming. I am okay. Help is coming. Breathe. Real story, a breathing miracle. I once spoke with a 66-year-old widow named Arlene. She lived alone and suffered her first heart attack while cooking dinner. She remembered the video she saw a year earlier. She sat down, took her emergency aspirin, and started breathing deeply, just like we described. She made it through those 10 minutes before the paramedics arrived. When the ER doctor later told her, "You kept your own heart from failing with your breathwork," she cried. But it wasn't luck. It was preparation, a daily habit to strengthen your odds. If you're over 60, the time to prepare is not during a heart attack, it's today. That's why I recommend this daily ritual. Every morning, take 10 slow, deep breaths while seated. You're not just building calm, you're training your nervous system. So when real stress hits, your body already knows what to do. Another habit, place a small medicine tin with an aspirin and a folded emergency plan in your wallet or purse. Include your name, your emergency contact, and your current medications. When panic sets in, clarity is hard, but a simple routine saves lives. The step most seniors forget: how to make sure someone finds you in time. Let's talk about one of the most heartbreaking scenarios that doctors and first responders see far too often. A senior suffers a heart attack alone at home, and nobody knows until it's too late. The worst part? Many of these people could have survived if help had arrived sooner. So here's the next life-saving step that gets overlooked. Tip number 5, create a daily contact routine that triggers a response if you don't reply. What does that mean? Simple. You set up a system where one trusted person checks on you at the same time every day, and if they don't hear from you, they call or come over. You can do this with a phone call every morning at 9 a.m., a simple text message each evening, a smart speaker like Alexa or Google Home that sets a reminder to say hello or respond. If you don't respond within a set time window, say 30 minutes, your contact calls you. If still no answer, they check on you in person or call for help. This system might sound simple, but it's incredibly effective. And in the case of a heart attack, where minutes matter, it could be the difference between being found conscious or not being found at all. You don't need a medical alert bracelet or expensive monitoring system, although those help too. You just need consistency. One person, one time, every day. Real story, saved by a missed call. George, a 74-year-old retiree from Wisconsin, had a ritual. Every morning at 8:30, he texted his niece, "All good." One day, the text never came. His niece called. No answer. She showed up an hour later, found him disoriented, having suffered a heart attack. Because she got there fast, paramedics were able to save his life. George later said, "That daily check-in saved me. I didn't think I needed it, but I'm alive because of it." Now here's how you can set it up. Choose one person who lives nearby and is reliable, a family member, neighbor, friend. Agree on a simple time, morning or evening. Decide on the check-in method. Call, text, or Alexa voice reply. Make it a habit. Set a reminder. And here's a bonus tip. If you live alone, never go more than 24 hours without someone expecting to hear from you. This tip isn't just about surviving heart attacks. It also protects you from strokes, falls, medication reactions, and more. Because let's face it, when you're over 60, time lost is life lost. Bonus step: enable fall detection and emergency alerts on your phone or watch. If you use a smartphone or smartwatch, make sure to enable the emergency features. On iPhones, Emergency SOS can notify contacts and alert 911. On Apple Watch or Samsung Galaxy Watch, fall detection calls emergency services if you collapse. On Android, Emergency Location Service can send your GPS to loved ones. Many seniors avoid tech, but this is not about gadgets. This is about survival. Take 15 minutes today to learn how to activate these features. You don't need to become a tech wizard. You just need to be findable. Because in a heart attack, being found within the first 10 minutes is what makes or breaks survival. We've covered what to do when a heart attack strikes and you're alone. We've sat down, we've stopped moving, we've taken aspirin, we've breathed deeply, we've set up emergency alerts. But if there's one truth every senior must face, it's this: the best way to survive a heart attack is to prevent it from happening in the first place. And that brings us to tip number 6. Create a daily anti-attack routine for your heart. This isn't about running marathons or eating kale smoothies. It's about consistency, building simple, senior-friendly habits that lower your risk dramatically over time. Here's what doctors recommend for seniors over 60. Walk 20 minutes every day. You don't need to power walk. A gentle stroll around the block boosts circulation, reduces blood pressure, and improves oxygen flow. Limit salt to under 2,000 milligrams per day. That means watching canned foods, takeout, and processed meats. Salt raises blood pressure, which weakens your arteries. Drink more water. Dehydration thickens your blood, putting stress on your heart. Aim for 6 to 8 cups a day. Take your medications on time. Missing blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, or diabetes treatments even for one day increases heart strain. Sleep 7 hours minimum. Seniors who sleep less than 6 hours regularly have a 20 to 40% higher risk of cardiac events. Get screened yearly. Know your cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar numbers. If they're creeping up, you can act early. But most importantly, know your triggers and avoid extremes. Cold weather can constrict blood vessels. Bundle up. Heavy meals strain the heart. Eat small portions. Emotional outbursts can spike your pulse. Practice calming routines. And here's one more habit to add today. Every morning, press gently on your chest and ask, "How does my heart feel today?" Tune into it. Don't ignore it, because the body whispers before it screams. Now, let's finish with the final mistake that kills too many seniors. Tip number 7. Waiting too long to call for help. Every minute after a heart attack begins, your heart tissue is dying. The biggest mistake people make is thinking, maybe it's just gas. Let me wait and see. I don't want to bother anyone. That delay, those 10, 20, 30 minutes of doubt, can make the difference between a small blockage and full-blown heart failure. Here's the truth. Emergency rooms would rather send you home healthy than see you come in too late. You are not a burden. Your life matters. So if you're ever in doubt, call 911 anyway. It's better to be safe and alive than silent and sorry. Let me leave you with one final story. Walter, 69, was at home when he felt strange. He told himself it was just heartburn. He waited 40 minutes. When he finally called 911, the damage had spread. He survived, but he never regained full function. His wife later said, "We knew what to do. We just hesitated." That hesitation nearly killed him. So don't hesitate. Don't downplay. Don't delay. Summary of the 7 life-saving steps. Sit upright immediately. Stop all movement. Use cough CPR cautiously if fainting. Chew a 325 mg aspirin. Don't swallow. Breathe deeply to slow panic and keep oxygen flowing. Create a daily check-in routine with someone you trust. Build a senior-friendly daily heart routine. Never wait. Call emergency services the moment you feel something is wrong. You might be alone when a heart attack strikes, but you are not powerless. You have knowledge, you have tools, and you have hope. Don't wait for the emergency to prepare. Prepare now, because the life you save will be your own. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone over 60. This isn't just health advice. It's a survival manual for the people we love.